Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Rachel Williams begins now.
It's still not known what caused a blaze that destroyed a home in the state's northwest yesterday morning. Crews arrived to find the Calder home fully ablaze around 2:30 a.m. Investigators have been unable to determine the cause because of the total destruction of the site. The total damage bill is estimated to be $500,000. Tasmanian Women's Group is fighting proposed gender reform laws, saying the public needs more consultation before the new policies are passed. Protesting today in Hobart, fearing women in domestic violence shelters could be amongst those at risk.
We don't think that their rights should be promoted at the expense of the rights of women, and I think it's disingenuous to think that men won't take advantage of the fact that they can suddenly become female.
But some members from the transgender community say it's only spreading fear.
Well, it says to transgender people that they are some kind of weapon of mass destruction, that they are a risk. There is nothing to support the stories that they're putting forward and the fear they're trying to engender.
The laws could make listing sex optional on birth certificates, set to be debated in the Upper House next month. There's been praise for thousands of revellers at this year's party in the Paddock, with the festival so far trouble-free. Big acts including Lily Allen are expected to take the stage shortly, but this afternoon was a more relaxed affair.
Not exactly fashions on the field, but at a party in the Paddock you can still strut your stuff.
Oh, it's all the people. Love all the people here. This is my first time being here. This is great. I love it.
I like that it's a really small festival, so you kind of meet a lot of people over here, and yeah.
More than 7,500 have turned out in Whitehills to see the 150-strong lineup. But a 3-day festival can take its toll. How's the dinosaur been handling the festival?
He's feeling a bit deflated at some times, but most times pretty good.
Are you feeling a bit deflated?
No, I'm inflated.
So looking after yourself is important. You might want to pack some greens.
Why celery?
Why not celery?
That's a good point. I don't know where to go with the end of that question.
It's a hated vegetable. What's it good for?
If you get hungry, you've got a bite there.
Oh, look, you could. I wouldn't recommend it.
Others clearly struggling. Police so far have few complaints, with only a handful of minor drug matters.
Well, so far all indications show that everybody's been behaving themselves. There hasn't been too many problems in relation to alcohol.
St John Ambulance volunteers also happy with crowds.
Friends that have been looking out for their mates has been amazing. So if people have been coming into the medical centre, they have had friends with them, they've stayed, they've looked after them, and they've been concerned about their welfare, which is really good and what we want.
The festival wraps up tomorrow. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Hobart's waterfront was bursting with activity today, with the 25th annual Wooden Boat Festival kicking off for a second day, displaying craft of all sizes and the craftsmen behind them, while showcasing the state's seafood industry on the main stage.
Vessels great and small. These boaties have retreated inside away from the crowd to catch a glimpse of these miniature masterpieces.
People are just they're interested in miniature things, and when it looks impossible, like a tall-masted, fully rigged ship inside a gin bottle, it really is fascinating.
Around 300 tiny encased vessels out on display at this year's Wooden Boat Festival. Craft veterans here today to showcase their artistry.
I've still got a record of how many I've made, but I've never had a display like here. A lot of patience. And it's very fiddly work, but I find it relaxing.
Back out on the wharf, our world-class seafood promoted by some of the state's industry experts, tasting the best Tasmania has to offer.
I think the Wooden Boat Festival is just a fantastic place for the fishing industry to be. I mean, we're built on wooden boats, although we're moving more to steel boats now. We've got our history in the wooden boat world. We've got people interested in the marine world, and we are the marine world.
Tasmania's an island state. We do seafood really well. Commercial fishermen are such an important part of our economy, and of course recreational fishing is part of the Tasmanian lifestyle.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, he's done just about everything there is to do in the sport of sailing, from winning Sydney Hobart Light Honours 3 times to partying with Rupert Murdoch on Constitution Dock. And Tasmanian Peter Warner is now keen to share a lifetime's worth of memories with other sailing enthusiasts.
He might not do much sailing anymore, but Peter Warner still talks like a sailor.
I was a smart ass.
What proved to be an illustrious career wasn't always smooth sailing, with Warner sinking his first dinghy as a boy off Tasmania's coastline, forced to make a swim for it to shore.
As I was going down for the second time, a boat hook hooked onto me, dragged me up, and that was my first near-death experience.
He'd go on to claim Sydney Hobart Light Honours 3 times in 1961, 62 and 64 in his boat Astor.
Astor took Light Honours.
That was in the days of wooden ships and iron men, before these lightweight aluminium and vessels came on the scene, which overtook all us.
But after being pipped at the post in 1963 by just 60 seconds, the winning boat skipper refused to buy the customary keg of beer. So Warner, along with fellow competitor and media mogul Rupert Murdoch, took matters into their own hands.
Rupert then went across to the pub and bought a keg, and we had a lovely party on the wharf, and in the name of the guy that wasn't there. It was a big crowd on the wharf. If we'd have all got onto the boat, it would have sunk.
It's one of many stories encapsulated in Warner's book Astor, Adventures Ashore and Afloat, being released in conjunction with Hobart's Wooden Boat Festival, written for those who share the same unwavering passion for the ocean as he still does. Tom Cooper, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening. Showers fell right across Tasmania today due to a cold front crossing the state. Hobart reached a high of 17, Launceston the state's high today of 20, Burnie 18 and Devonport 19 degrees. Cooler temperatures right across the state with a high of 19 for Flinders Island, Lowhead, Friendly Beaches and Ouse, Smithton 18 along with St Helens, 17 for Maria and King Islands as well as Strawn, Grove 16 and Liaweenie a cool 12 degrees. On the satellite we can see the frontal cloud band moving away from the northeast while low-level cloud streams across the state in a southwesterly airstream. Showers and thunderstorms are seen over the northeast of Western Australia, and a cloud band with embedded thunderstorms extends through New South Wales to the Tasman Sea. Tomorrow, several cold fronts are crossing southern waters, one of these approaching Tasmania. A weak high moves over southern Australia, while the broad trough remains over Queensland, Western Australia and the northern tropics. West to northwesterly winds 20 to 30 knots, lighter and more variable about the lower east, seas mostly 2 to 3 metres. A strong wind warning for northeastern coastal waters as well as western and southern coastal waters. There is also a small craft wind alert for the southwest lakes. Tomorrow a partly cloudy day in Hobart 24, becoming cloudy at Richmond 25 and Ouse a possible shower 23. Partly cloudy in Launceston 23, Devonport 20, cloudy there, and partly cloudy with 21 in Deloraine. Burnie a cloudy 20, 19 and showers at Strawn, and Curry a possible shower 20 degrees. St Helens expecting a sunny 25 tomorrow, Swansea a partly cloudy day 26, while Whitemark is cloudy, becoming windy 22 degrees. The UV is 10s across the state. Looking ahead to Monday now, showers about the north and west, possible showers elsewhere later in the day. Rain for Tuesday across the state easing in the morning, contracting to the west, far south and Bass Strait Islands later in the day. And Wednesday those showers remain in the west, far south and Bass Strait Islands with mostly fine conditions elsewhere. A look to the remainder of the country now, partly cloudy for Adelaide, Brisbane, Darwin and Broome, a possible shower for Cairns and a sunny day in Perth, Canberra, Sydney and Alice Springs. And currently in Hobart it's 17 and partly cloudy, Launceston 17 mostly sunny and 17 in Devonport also and sunny. And that's tonight's weather forecast, Rachel.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Carmen. Well, that's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Good night.